How's it going? My name is Vashthalas, in case you didn't already know, and today I want to talk to you about the build that I played in Zizzarin's hardcore solo self-found Runic Strife Gauntlet. It's a mouthful, sorry. And it was a whole hell of a lot of fun. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to. I don't know if that's because of this build that I cooked up, but thank you very much, GGG. Thank you very much, Zizzarin. Thank you very much, anybody who was involved. I had an absolute blast. So, cheers. Hats off to you. I've got a headset on right now. I don't really want to take off my hat. But in spirit, hats off to you. Moving on, though, I also had somebody shoot me a message on the Path of Exile official website. They said that they had an interest in playing this build after watching some of my content on YouTube. Thank you very much. And I'd be happy to go over it for you guys. So, first and foremost, pick up these minion and damage nodes right here on your way towards Deep Wisdom. After that, I know it's tempting to pick up Lord of the Dead, but you're going to go straight for minion instability. It's really powerful, especially when your minions are still dying a lot early on in the campaign, which I'm willing to bet they are, even if you're not playing Gauntlet. Moving forward, though, I want to talk to you real quick about Indomitable Army. I'm going to take away this mastery and I'm going to put it right here so it's a little clearer to understand. This is the earliest point that you can gain access to minions recover 5% of life on minion death. This doesn't sound important, but it is because you're going to be a Zoomancer as well as a popcorn enjoyer. This will allow you to stomach more projectiles. This will allow those minions to take the attention of more monsters beyond just absorbing those projectiles. You can disagree with me here. I'm not going to die on that hill. But I encourage you to give this a try, where you pick this node up before you do any like minion damage nodes, and let me know how it feels. I'd be happy to hear any criticism on whether or not that feels bad, because, I mean, minions' biggest problem early on is that they just don't have a lot of survivability, and it's kind of frustrating to like summon zombies and then they just die. So do with that information what you will. After you pick up this cluster, you can respec it later. I'm not going to say you have to keep it forever, especially if you're playing Popcorn SRS, because the resistances are not exactly welcome when you want your minions to die as long as possible. Skill effect will help you later on down the road in that direction, but up front, the resistances can really make them last longer than you would like before they explode. It's not that they can't still explode. It just means that they have to actually be in combat with something for that duration to expend with the explosion instead of expend, and then the explosion would have happened when they actually lost the full amount of their life. I'm digressing a little bit. I'm sorry. So let's keep moving then. Heart and Soul. This would be your first life node. Pick up Practical Application, honestly, a little bit before Lord of the Dead. So that's your next move, right? So you pick up that. You pick up the Mastery. You pick up Lord of the Dead, Heart and Soul, and then Physical Application. Practical Application, sorry. After that, I would say you should make a beeline for Enduring Bond. I waited way too long to pick this up. Just make a beeline for it after you've gotten those things out of the way, right? So you pick up Indomitable, Lord of the Dead, Heart of the Soul, Practical Application, and then you could go over for Enduring Bond. And that will really, really make your popcorn playstyle tee off. Especially once you start utilizing Summon Raging Spirit, which is like the bread and butter as you're going through the campaign. If you get some unique items later on, you can kind of like pick which minion you want to use, but I'm not going to get into that. After that, really it becomes kind of a beeline to go and pick up more minion damage. Minion damage lets you just forget about a lot of the mechanics. The way I did that was I moved up here, I picked up the life, and then I picked up Death Attunement's Wheel in Total. The Mastery, I really don't know if you need that. I picked it up because on their way to dying, they're going to be getting some attacks out. So I figured, why shouldn't I have 50% chance for them to ignore the physical damage that they are already dealing on their way to death? The next big important stepping stone for you to progress the build would be auras, and you would want to pick up Sovereignty, and then you want to pick up this Mana Mastery. The auras that you're going to be using are Determination, Purity of Elements, and then Discipline. That's the only auras I used. I got to level 87. I used those auras between both Blink Arrow and Mirror Arrow, and Blink Arrow, Mirror Arrow, and SRS. Sorry, I was just saying that a little funny. Getting back to the passive tree though, so you've got your resistance, or sorry, you have got your reservation efficiency. Different word. The next thing I moved towards was Faith and Steel, and I really don't know how useful this is because while it is powerful when you're combining like Grace and Determination, I just don't know if I had enough armor to make it fully mesh. As while at some points I felt like I was getting usefulness out of it, other points I was just like I don't notice any recovery happening in it at all. Um, Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I chose this out of knowing that it was rather powerful for trickster builds that were also using iron reflexes. Not to say that we're using iron reflexes, but that's why I was using it, is maybe a little habit that needed to die before I went into the gauntlet. Just trying to go over a lot of my thought process as I chose these nodes. And then again, pick up those damage nodes when you're next to them. Even the 16% ones don't seem like a lot, but when you're going through the campaign, it can make a huge difference. And those 16% increased nodes are rather efficient if you compare them to something like down here where minions have 10% increased damage. It's really a whole hell of a lot more, almost 50%. Sorry, 60% math. What else? We've got the resistances out of the way. I would say you don't really have a high priority on spiritual command. You can pick it up if you want the quality of life, but it's not really like necessary by any means. You should pick up your protection mastery wherever you feel like picking it up at. If you want to be over here for more life and energy shield, you can pick up melding instead. It's just I thought this was efficient, and you probably care about chaos resistance before making a swap over to chaos inoculation when you've got better gear. Beyond that, you're just moving over here for spell suppression, more reservation efficiency, life and energy shield, and that's really it. That is the build that I used to level through the campaign. Going over the skills, it was Summon Raging Spirit, Swift Affliction, Unleash, Infernal Legion, and Combustion. I really was only using Swift Affliction because I couldn't get another 5-link, and that felt like I was using Ignite, I was using Infernal Legion. Swift Affliction doesn't really sound all that bad, so why not? Raise Spectre, I was using 3. I was using 2 Stygian... Oh goodness, what is their name? Stygian Chieftains, I think it is. Stygian Chieftains that give you frenzy charges. And then I was using 1 Tukohama's Vanguard. Tukohama's Vanguard summons a totem that uses Scorching Ray. I do not know if that Scorching Ray totem actually applies a real Scorching Ray effect, but I had +3 Spectres and I don't want a 3rd Charge Ape because I'm Popcorn and I don't really care about that, small chance at a critical strike boost. So I went with Exposure, potential exposure. I don't know how I would verify that, but I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet that it's a rather similar ability. So, throwing my hat into the ring, sure. Put all my money on that one. Raise Zombie. I don't really know if this is necessary. You can take this out if you want, but all I really used it for was Feeding Frenzy and to absorb some projectiles, take the focus off of me with some additional bodies in the room. You can put Feeding Frenzy on whatever else you want, and it's going to functionally be the same. But those Spectres are a little squishy sometimes, and it can help having additional minions to share some of the ire of whatever enemy you may be up against. Molten Shell and Shield Charge. There's not really much to say. It's a guard skill and a movement ability. Flame ability. This is our curse. It makes things hurt more. Flame Dash, another movement ability. We use that when we can't use Shield Charge. We already went over the auras, but I'll go over them again. Determination, Purity of Elements, and then we also use Discipline. You fit these wherever you can. Socket pressure in the build is really high. Desecrate. I only kept it on the build if I needed to resummon, say, zombies or my specters if they were dying too much. Summon skeletons, malevolence, and bone offering. We only used skeletons whenever we were up against a scary target that was either moving really quickly and needed even more bodies in the room to help distract them, or up against a boss that we just wanted to ignore the mechanics of, so we wanted as much damage as possible. If you want my vote, you probably have enough buttons to press already with everything that I've recommended to you so far. So probably just put Summon Phantasm on here instead of having like a bone offering situation where you're like pressing your control or alt key or whatever hotkey you have it bound to show your alternate keybinds. And it's like, okay, now I use these two buttons here. It's just a little frustrating, I guess, is what I'm trying to tell you, if you put in even more active skills. So if you want more damage with not an additional button to press, just put in Summon Phantasm here with this recommendation I'm about to make to you. So, doesn't have to be Summon Skeletons. Put in a minion there and make the connecting links be Guardian's Blessing and Malevolence. You're only going to use it whenever you feel like you want the damage boost. It could be that you want the damage boost a lot. Summon Skeletons has the upside of having a greater inherent maximum of just one minion. So like if you were to use a golem, you have to make sure that that golem is always alive. But with skeletons, you summon like 3 at a time, and then the first one dies, the second one dies. Once you see that you're only on 1 skeleton left, you summon up another batch of skeletons, and all of a sudden you've got 4 skeletons to bleed through with the dot that Guardian's Blessing applies when Malevolence is active. And that's right, you need to summon the minion, then activate the aura, or otherwise it's not really going to serve a purpose. As the skeletons hit whatever target you've summoned them in front of before they die, they will summon phantasms that will also explode. They will not apply an ignite, but that doesn't really matter. It's just free damage. The phantasms are going to be hitting things. They're minions. They're benefiting from everything that you're doing on your tree. And they're also exploding. Not as big of an explosion, but hits are hits, damage is damage. And that's really all of the skills. Sorry for hitting my microphone there. I was waving my hands a little crazy. Items. There is really nothing crazy here other than +1 to relevant skill gem levels. I got lucky and hit a identify on this demon's horn here that shows level of all spell skill gems. If you don't find that while you're leveling through the campaign, probably pick up +1 all fire spell gems instead, because that affects your most important minion, Summon Raging Spirit. Beyond that, you can pick up +1 to minion skill gems on a Convoking Wand, or you can pick it up on your helmets. It doesn't matter on the base type. I think you can get it on Evasion, you can get it on Evasion Intelligence, you can get it on Intelligence, you can get it on Armor Evasion helmets. So be sure, if you've got a helmet, that it's got plus to minion gem levels, because that's just hands down one of the most powerful modifiers available to minions in the game. Beyond that, it is life and attributes, resistances, armor. These are the things that you need to survive. Spell suppression, but you're getting a lot of your spell suppression through the tree. You can pick up maybe the odd evasion armor item so that you're not missing out on any physical mitigation and only a little bit of energy shield or something. But that's really what it is. You need attributes so that you can level up your gems and equip your auras. So that means finding dexterity and strength through suffixes or the passive tree. And resistances. And you get a ton of resistances through your ascendancy, which I should talk to you about now before I go any further. I forgot about that in the passive tree. So first, I picked up Commander of Darkness. Next, I picked up Mindless Aggression. Third, I picked up Mistress of Sacrifice, but then I got really wishy-washy and was like, do I really want to play Popcorn SRS? I went back and forth. I was playing Animate Weapon. I was playing Ranged Animate Weapon. And then I got lucky while putting myself in the prison. If you don't know what the prison is, it's just normal labyrinth until I get the gems that I want. And yeah, we got Blink Arrow, Mirror Arrow of Bombardment, and change the build from there. I'll leave that down below in the description. Let me know if you'd like me to go over that in a video as well, but I just wanted to go over the leveling build that I used to beat the campaign, as I feel like it was way stronger. I feel like if I had just continued playing Popcorn Zoomancer, I would have never had to worry about anything. But I don't know. I wanted to flex a little bit and play Bama, but as poison. Maybe it's not a flex, but that's my thought process. So thanks for tuning in. You guys have no idea how much every view, like, comment, subscribe, follow, you name it. It all adds up, and it means a whole hell of a lot to me. Can't say that enough. And I also can't say thank you enough to everybody involved in the Runic Strife Gauntlet. No exaggeration. This is some of the most fun I think I've ever had playing Path of Exile. It has breathed a lot of life into my YouTube channel. It has helped me understand parts of the game in ways that I never thought I would. It has shown me that hardcore really isn't all that scary. I just need to get in there and give it a try. May have even made me a hardcore player, or may have even made me a solo self-found player. I'm thinking of giving the build another try, just not in the gauntlet. Maybe just hardcore solo self-found, maybe just hardcore trade. We'll see. Be sure to tune in on Twitch. Be sure to join the Discord if you want updates on when I plan on going live, which is every day. Got no excuse at this point. You know I go live every day. And just so you guys know, even though I do like going live every day, I don't know what the future holds for us because we've got a storm coming our way. Hurricane Milton is what it's called, and it's rapidly growing in strength. And Abby and I are waiting to see if we are in a zone that will need to evacuate. So future's a little up in the air. We are hoping that it stays a lower category and that the forces of nature are a little kind, or at least kinder than they usually are. But I just wanted to give you guys an update on what's going to be happening. So stay safe, have fun, thank you very much. I can't say that part enough. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.